on the internet.
There we go. Yeah, absolutely. So, what's the date today? It's the
1st of July.
It's the 1st of July, and I'm here with Duncan Morris.
How does?
Duncan, this is your second year with the Soya, yeah?
It is, yes.
And last year, a lot of lessons learned.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is your second year, and we're looking round here, and I have to say, this is absolutely bang on as a crop.
Yeah.
It's a crop of Vilshanka. You grew Vilshanka last year, yeah?
I did, yep. And I asked you, because you wanted to change varieties on me, I asked you if I could possibly grow Vilshanka again for comparative purposes, because this is the land that I wanted to grow it on in the first place.
So you were right and I was wrong, which is, to be honest, quite a normal state of affairs with me.
All I wanted was to be able, for comparison purposes,
Yeah.
I grew it on mineral soils last year because of how it worked on the rotation.
Yeah.
But I brought Soya in the first place so that I could grow it on the black land where I presently have struggled to put a break crop in.
Yeah.
Linseed will grow, but it doesn't yield. And post-flower, during flowering and post-flowering, it just fills up with weeds, and you can do nothing with it.
Nothing with it.
If you know, and then come combining, basically you've written that bit of crop off because it's just full of weeds. You can't separate the weed seeds from the linseed.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I mean, I was going to move you. Vilshanka and SoyaUK, as you know, is our two main varieties, and I did sort of think, oh, I'll move you on to, because this is a seed crop, and I was going to move you on to the SoyaUK, but looking at this, I agree. I'm quite pleased that we stuck with the Vilshanka. The reality is there's not actually a great difference between the two in performance.
Right.
But no, this is great. Now, last year, traumatic spring, indeed. Traumatic, whatever, what you call it, what you want. And a lot of lessons. It was your first year, so you didn't have a bad crop last year though, because you must have had one. Did you have one bit that ran at a ton? Or?
I had 2 fields that were hovering around 36 acres.
Aye.
The big fields. One which got absolutely. We had a big nightshade problem at one end, which no spray touched by the time we were able to get in on it.
Aye.
But I'd also had an experiment in that end because I'd left the headland over winter, left it untouched so that I could tackle blackgrass problem and encroaching problem.
Aye.
So it was, the rest of the field had been busted and then just left, and that headland had been left completely untouched. Sprayed a couple of times, disked a couple of times, sprayed again, and then in the spring I ploughed it. But it was just too dry. The soil complained. It said, I ain't growing in here. You've not got it loose enough. Soya just needs the soil as loose as possible.
Yeah, so you're right.
Hates compaction.
It doesn't like compaction. It's
not
true.
Of any sort at all.
It's like peas in that respect, isn't it? And this is where we see if we're on puggy clay, it struggles. You know.
Yeah,
Aye, exactly.
I mean, as a note to anybody wanting to grow it, I would say you can't get away with just ploughing.
Yeah.
You have to bust it and then plough it. So bust it 90 degrees to your land drains and then plough it how you want to drill it.
Now, of course, it's worth me pointing out, and I've just realised I forgot to say where we are. Where are we? Where in the world?
We're at Fincham's Farm in Stoney in northeast Cambridgeshire.
And we're on the Fens, yeah?
This is skirt land to the Fens.
Yeah, lovely. And obviously the boys on the sand, they're not going to be doing that, but it's a different ball game, of course. But what encourages me is we have got a perfect crop of soya. How many acres we got here? It's 4 fields, isn't it?
It's 4 fields, just shy of 71 acres in total.
71 acre. And last year we had something similar, I think. And
we did. The acreage is about the same, but the nice thing about this is that I've now, for the first time, managed to get this whole farm as not wheat, which means that next year the whole farm will be wheat.
Yeah.
This field, this farm, which means when it comes to combining, not only will it be all wheat, it'll be all the same variety. So for combining, the combine comes in once, combines the lot,
and you're
combine
laughing.
leaves.
And the
So for
soya's doing.
logistics, it's fantastic.
And blackgrass wise, I mean, what are we seeing in the fields from last year? Obviously, the soya for last year allowed you to smack the blackgrass pretty hard, I guess.
It did. That's easier to see in this year's wheat crop, and you can see where the spray that we put on last year in the soya to the nozzle is where it should have gone further in the field. You know, that lesson has been learned. So it works far better in a crop of soya. Gets a much better kill in soya than it does in the wheat, even though you're probably using the same chemical.
Aye, and that's probably because
possibly using the same chemical. You might have to edit this bit.
no, you can say what you like. It's not a problem. So it looks. I mean, last year you had some good bits and bad bits. Your best bit last year, did it hit the ton an acre in your best bit?
I think
it might have been just one little bit. But
yeah, no. The thing was that the two fields, the two biggest fields, unfortunately, the two biggest fields, the one that had the nightshade problem, that part of the field was a bit gravelly.
Yeah.
On silty loam. Right up by the riverbank, there was some heavy clay. But it had plants in there that were as tall as me. You know, 6 foot tall plants were in there.
Of soya?
Of soya.
Really?
They're the ones that got the sclerotinia.
Ah, right, aye. And that was another mistake.
A little pocket of black. Yeah, we didn't spray sclerotinia last year. By the time we noticed it, it was just too late to do anything.
Yeah. Now, we've learnt that lesson as well, haven't we?
Learn that lesson, do it as part of the course.
Yeah. And the good thing is, these varieties, sclerotinia, is no longer an issue in soya. Of course, we have to just chuck some fungicide in with the weed spray at this time of year, sort of late June, and that will nullify that threat. And but yeah, lessons learned all round.
I've got to tell you about the other two fields, because I think that overall that field, although we ended up not cutting where the nightshade was, because the nightshade berries, despite having 2 hits of reglone, the nightshade berries were just so wet, it was massively increasing the moisture on that. So we actually ended up leaving about 4 acres in that field. So off the 70 acres, which you got to take 4 acres off, which we may or may not have done in our sums, I can't remember. Then on the other field, that's a much heavier field.
Mm-hmm.
It's got it had pockets of gravelly loam, but it also had these big, wide, father calls them silt rodents, but they're not. They're clay. They're impossible to do anything with.
Yeah.
In the winter they get wet. You just end up slaring it all up. In the summer it dries up with cracks in there big enough to fall down.
Yeah.
But then there was this little 7-acre field right on the end of that field. So I kept them all as close together as possible for pigeon control in the spring. Flags and bangers would then be echoing over all 3 fields. And this tiny little 7-acre field must have yielded over a ton an acre.
Aye.
And that was black.
Yeah.
And the thing is that's the soil type that I brought soya on the farm for in the first place. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And so because that's on black now, these 4 fields this field we're standing at the moment is the highest one on Fincham's farm. Of the 71 acres we've got this year, there's about 5 or 6 acres of black down the bottom of the hill there.
Mm-hmm.
Just where that starts to go a little bit yellow, actually.
You call that a hill, do you?
Well, we're on a hill.
We're on the fens.
I'm getting vertigo up here. Then just beyond that red and yellow flag over there.
Oh yes, right, yeah. Uh-huh.
Beyond that, to the right of that is heavier, heading up for blue clay by the pollen and nectar margin, and to the left of that flag is blackland, and then the 2 fields beyond that also are more blackland, and so yeah, overall, I'd say you've put out of the 71 acres we got this year, I should think there's close on 60 acres of black.
And I mean, I'm looking at this.
Or maybe 50 acres.
We've got 70 acres here that is basically as good as that little 7-acre field that you had last year.
Yeah, certainly how
it did a ton an acre, so
yeah.
Without wanting to hex the job in any way, we can say that at this point in time, theoretically, we could be on course for a ton an acre across the 70 acre.
I'm hoping.
Well, listen, we want it because I want 70 ton.
Seed.
I want 70 ton of seed and a lot more because we are expecting a big jump in the soy area, and I'm very pleased to have you as one of our seed producers, Duncan. And yeah, hopefully the soya revolution continues.
I'm just happy to be growing a crop that likes this field. This is the first crop we've had in this field that likes this soil.
Yeah, brilliant. Duncan, thank you very much. Cheers.